Hello. So let's go over the state of the industry as of December 2025. We had a meeting with an economist from our KWRI office. That's our what do you call it? Our corporate headquarters for Keller Williams. Keller Williams Realty International. And that is actually based out of Austin, which is interesting. And these are our slides, our data points that we watch and monitor throughout the year to kind of track where we were and kind of help us determine where we might be going. Obviously, we don't have a crystal ball, but I wanted to take you through this. I might skip through some slides, so feel free to pause the video and then read the data yourself. Unemployment as of September 2025 is at 4.4%. If that goes up higher, that might mean we're getting more and more into a recession. That also might mean that mortgage rates will go down further to help bolster the economy and help people buy homes. So we will see. We're always watching this number. Unemployment, so you have the job postings in orange. So lots of job postings within these last years, but it's gone down in 2025. And then the unemployed people was down, and now it's really neck and neck with job openings and unemployed people. Okay, job growth. This is monthly. Indeed, daily job postings index, just breaking down that information further. And then this graph is really important. This shows the times our country was in a recession by these gray shaded areas. Happy's barking at me, but he doesn't need anything. It's when I'm talking that he's like, hey, you should pay attention to me. It's not great. So anyway, we had a recession in 2001, obviously 2008, a little one in 2020. That was insane. We do not like these spikes. That's crazy. And as you can see, we are going down, just like over here, just like over there. So it is looking like we're very close to a recession. I mean, if we're up here and going down, but you never know. This could be the first time in the last several decades that we don't go into recession. Maybe it bounces back up. I don't know. But with the tech industry, with AI, it's a new element, right? Like throughout all of these times, something new was always happening that was shifting our economy. So AI is a new factor, and it really is unpredictable. And just so you know, also, my industry, real estate, has been in a recession for the last 2 years. And when we're in a recession, usually the economy is doing pretty good. But when you're in a recession, that's when we're doing good because real estate bolsters the economy. One transaction is tied to hundreds of jobs and moves money around. So the more people who are buying and selling real estate, and especially sellers who have a lot of equity in their homes, when they're able to sell their house, that money gets moved, it gets put into the economy. So a lot happens with real estate. So we'll see. Does that mean mortgage interest rates will go down if we go into recession? That is what should happen. But what I don't know is I don't have a crystal ball. I have to plug in my computer. Give me one sec. Okay, so pending recession, TBD, we don't know. GDP is obviously something super important. It indicates our economic stability, and we kind of always want to be around that 2% range. And this is, I think the orange is projected. We don't know projected 2025. We don't know. Quarterly, here we are, Q1 down. Q2 was doing pretty good. Oh, Q1 was the election. That's right. Inflation by month. Crazy. Consumer sentiment is down. Let's see. This is yearly. So it was great in 2019, kind of dipped in 2020, then went back up, and then went way down in 2022, and then kind of resurfaced, and then it's going back down. Great. So is it a good time to buy a home? People are thinking not so much. Home sales annually, this is national. It went from 4.06 million to 4.15 million so far in 2025. Homes this year, 2025, we're blue. We did less in January, less, about the same in May. We did more in June, about the same in July, more in August, but barely, more in September, then less and less. And I don't know. We have had a pretty busy December, so we'll see. I'm guessing it's going to be like right around here. That's my guess. Totally a guess. I have no idea how busy everyone else is in Austin. But what I like to point out in this graph is how off our seasonality is. So if, let's say, sellers in Austin are thinking, oh, we'll wait to sell because the springtime's usually busy. Well, it was in 2024, not so much in February. I mean, we still sold homes, but not as much. And then yet we sold a lot in June. Now, is that because this year was an election, so we were super slow because people were scared of what was going to happen, and then the election took place. That was in November, right? But he stepped into office the beginning of the year, so people were I remember we were a little bit hesitant of what's going to happen. And then everything kind of like nothing really happened. So people were like, well, I got to buy homes. And so they went into the market. So is this spring going to be a little different because we're not having a change of presidency? I don't know. Our interest rates are going to keep going down. I know the Fed reduced them 3 times this year. The first 2 times it actually negatively affected mortgage rates because of the things that the Fed was saying kind of disrupted the people in the finance world and made them kind of scared, and it actually ticked up the mortgage interest rates because the mortgage interest rates already baked in the Fed cuts because they always know when they're going to cut rates. This is what my lender tells me. Anyway, this last time that they cut rates, just yesterday, it did not negatively affect mortgage interest rates because the Fed didn't say anything that was scary. I hope that this makes sense because when she explains it to me, I kind of have to translate it to you because she gives me so much information. I can't. It's not my wheelhouse, but I get it. Definitely a realtor, and I'm not a lender for a reason. Anyway, let's move on. Home sales year to date. See, we had 41,000 home sales in 2021. That was a good year to be a realtor. And now we're down to 27. Womp womp. Not as easy to sell a house. I love this graph because it shows the annual appreciation rate. It should be about 4% long term, right? Should be. Like if we go from here to, these are real numbers, okay? These are not estimates. The orange is an estimate. But yeah, I think the point is that home prices are still above the trend. But this is also nationally. Home prices monthly, this is national. It's in the thousands. Yeah, so yeah, around the 400,000s. Not really interested in that graph. In Austin, though, the median sales price definitely went down in the beginning of this year, and it did go up as it does, and then it went back down, went back up, went back down. So I don't love this graph, but the median sales price does give us a data point of where we're at. So it is just good to keep your eye on. Austin medium sales price year to date. Whew. So it was in 2021, it was 446, then it spiked to 504 prices, and they dropped again, and they dropped again. And so these last 2 years, it's really, our market has really suffered. And I think, and a lot of other people think, that we're now stable. It's not going to keep going down. It's going to even out, surface out. It's going to even out. Affordability monthly. Inventory annually. This is national. So yeah, we have 4 months of inventory. A balanced market equals 6 months. Doesn't feel like it. Feels like a balanced market's more like 4 to 6. So I would say annually, but nationally we are balanced, but that just doesn't really help us because I'm not buying a house anywhere other than Austin, so I don't really care what the national average is. It just doesn't help. Inventory, again, monthly, not helpful. Days on market, I don't like looking at national stats. Okay, Austin inventory. Thank you. 2024 is purple and 2025 is blue. So we had more inventory, more, about the same, more, about the same, less. You know, this kind of just correlates with home sales. More and more. Oh gosh. Yeah. And right now we have the most inventory we've ever had in the history of Austin. So I'm guessing the blue is going to be up here. And then there's so many withdrawals and there's so many homes that are about to be put on the market come January, February, March. We're going to be seeing even more inventory. So what do you need to know about that? If you're a seller, get on the market as soon as possible because your buyer might be out there now. There's no point in trying to time the market. Like if you're trying to time the markets, other people who are timing the market are going to be out there for sale the same time as you. And if you're not priced super aggressively and you're everything that a buyer wants, you're going to get lost in the pool of inventory. And I know that because I work with buyers and I'm looking at literally hundreds of listings, and it's a lot, and I have to be, I don't have all day to look at these houses, so I'm weeding through them. I'm like, nope, that one's not as good as that last one. Nope, that's not. Oh, this one's good. So only the really amazing houses are getting saved. And it depends on, if you're a seller, it depends on the type of house you have. If you're a buyer, it depends on your price point and the location you want to buy in. So there might be a lot of inventory, there might not be a lot. Like especially if you're looking in Rosedale, for example, a neighborhood that has great schools and families want to live in, but no one ever leaves, no one ever moves, and the houses there are pretty small. So a large home, let's say over 2,000 square feet in Rosedale, that one's going to go fast. People are going to be running after it. Unless there's something wrong with it, it will sell so fast. All right, Austin inventory year to date. So it is at 5.3, which is a buyer's market. Technically, 4 to 6 months is a balanced market. 6 or more months is a buyer's market. So technically, and I've been telling people this, we're technically in a balanced market, but really we're just in a bipolar market because when it comes down to those micro markets, some homes are in a buyer's market and some homes are in a seller's market, and then some are balanced. It just depends on many factors: condition, floor plan, price, style, location, all the things. But yeah, we have a lot of inventory right now. We had 0.7. That means less than a month of inventory. I called it scraping the barrel. I was like looking everywhere for a listing for my buyers, and there was just nothing. It's awful. Every house that could possibly be for sale sold, it was gone. It was gone. There was nothing left. And now all this inventory, it's insane. Where were you in 2021? Okay. Active listings. This is a national. Oh no, it's Austin. So in 2025 we're blue. We had a lot. And then they kind of went down. Yeah, because a lot of people withdrew them. So if you think about, some of these houses sold, but then some of them withdrew and they're going to come back over here. Yeah. Or maybe they won't sell. Maybe they'll just stay put. We'll see. Active listings. We have a lot. Days on market. 95 days. 96, 86, 79, 70. So it increased during the winter season. Days on market year to date, 86. Yeah, so it's all correlating. It's all making sense. Mortgage rates. So the average starting from here on over should be 6. But then if you go all the way back to the 70s, should be around 7.7. So our economists are kind of also pointing out, like, hey, like back when it was down in like the 3s, that was really rare. Now this is kind of like how expensive it should be to buy a home. This is kind of where it should be. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that. Mortgage rates monthly. This is interesting. It's kind of just been, yeah, fluctuating in the sixes for a while now. Just kind of used to it. We did have a little dip there. I did recall helping someone buy a home, and she got a really good rate. It was like 1 month, and she got in. I was like, yay. New home starts monthly. We're down, and it is more expensive to build a home because of inflation and tariffs. So material, also labor is very expensive right now. So building new homes, it's super pricey. New home sales, this is national. And that's the end. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I do feel like not a lot has changed. And so I feel like a broken record because it is kind of a waiting game of we'll see what happens. But my advice to you, if you're a seller, get your home on the market as soon as possible. Do not wait to time it. I understand if you have the holidays and whatnot happening and you maybe just can't like deal with listing your home and getting it on the market. I get that. But like maybe January 1st, as soon as you're ready, let's get it on the market. There's also the option to do a flex listing. This is brand new, just came out in September 2025. And that is where we put your home on the MLS. As a flex listing, it does not accumulate days. We don't even need to put a price out there. We just say it's for sale, and a lot of people see it. It gets a lot of visibility. A lot of people reach out. They want to go see it. We could even we can even share that there's an open house. So that's one strategy in case you're not ready to go full on the interwebs for sale. If you are a buyer, I would get in whenever you're ready. I mean, your house could be here now. If interest rates do tick down, the best houses are always going to sell fast. So yes, there's tons of inventory for you, sure. But this is what I've seen with my buyers when I'm working with them is when we go out, the houses are not that great. Like whatever price point you're in, the best homes in that price point there's not that many. There's maybe like one or maybe two. So the more buyers that are out there, they're going to think the same way you do. And they're going to be like, well, that house is way better. It backs up to the woods, the greenbelt, like let's make an offer on that one. So it's not like you can really wait around. I would definitely start looking now, make sure that you are seeing the homes and getting used to your preferred location and getting comfortable with what's out there. And then when working with me, I can translate to you what that will sell for, how desperate these sellers are. I can translate to you like, no, that's a really competitive market. That's, you're shooting for the stars and I don't think you're going to reach it because like that house is never going to sell for this. Do you know what I mean? So getting comfortable with that. So that way, when you are really, really ready to pull the trigger, you understand more of the market. And then if things shift, I'm right there to be like, nope, it's different now. This is happening. And that takes place in real estate. I've been there. Been on a road, we're cruising, and the speed limit's like 50. And I'm like, we're good. We're going the speed limit. And then the speed limit changes, and now it's at 70. And I'm like, we gotta go. And then you're like, okay. And then sometimes it slows down. I'm like, whoa, speed limit's 20. We gotta chill. We gotta go slow. And so that is the real estate market. It fluctuates, and I'm the one to hear it first because I'm in it, and I'm in my office, and I'm with other realtors, and I'm in it, so I'm feeling it. That is my job, to feel it, to understand it, and know it's slow. Sellers are desperate. This is a unique property. We can get a deal, right? Versus this seller does not need to sell. They're not as motivated. This is a super unique property. There's no way you're going to get a deal on it. It's probably going to end up in multiple offer. Very different feeling. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but I hope that helps. you with wherever you're at. And okay, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.